So if you're anything like me, I'm sure you've seen all the little Hogwarts Legacy memes and such on Instagram and Reddit and whatnot. They're all quite funny. I'll just put some now if I can find them. Abracadabra, there they are. Yeah, so very funny. Anyways, I'm just going to do a little review of Hogwarts Legacy today because I've just played about 20 hours of the game, not in one sitting. Don't worry, I have a life. Maybe, we'll see, who knows. And yeah, I'm just going to cover the story, combat, puzzles, leveling systems, customization, and exploration in today's video. So it'll just be a little sort of quick one, and it is unscripted as well. So if I do sort of stumble my words a bit, it's just because I'm just sort of thinking of these things as I go, because I just thought I'd want to get this out, you know, YouTube algorithm and such. But yeah, anyways, I'll start with, I guess, the just general sort of game stuff. It's a pretty good game. I like it a lot. It's unique. The combat's good. The story's interesting. The puzzles are great. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of different sort of good aspects of the game that come together. And I'd say there's very little to complain about on the like game side of things. Like, I feel like most of my issues are probably just like graphical glitches and stuff. And like, there's maybe just one sort of like big one that sort of stands out, but I'm not even gonna lie, seeing, you know, Harry Potter and stuff, things just appear and pop out anyways. I mean, who would even know if it's a glitch? I mean, could be a feature for all I know. Who's to say? But yeah, anyways, also I'm just going to preface this right now. The footage that you'll be seeing in the background of this video, that is spoiler free. That's just me going around and doing some like open world stuff, and it'll be on a loop, so I think it's about like 15 to 20 minutes of that. If you even see the full thing, we'll see how long this video ends up being. So I think I'll just start with the story first. So it's quite simple, but it's very interesting. It sort of has like this whole like ancient magic thing going on, and look, it is a little bit predictable. I mean, most stories are, especially when it comes to games nowadays, but yeah, I mean, like, I wouldn't really like complain about it. The story sort of just like unfolds and reveals itself as it goes on, which, yeah, all stories do, but I don't know, it's sort of very like, you can see what's going to happen essentially. But yeah, it's got a lot of new characters that it introduces, seeing that the actual game is set about 100 or so years before the normal sort of Harry Potter timeline of when everything takes place. So as you could expect, there's a lot of new characters and stuff. Some of them seem to have sort of links to characters in the main sort of Harry Potter universe sort of thing. Like, there's a few professors and stuff like that and different things. So that's pretty cool, very interesting. What else? I mean, I don't know. Without getting into too many like spoilers and stuff, I feel like that's all I can really say for the story. But yeah, look, I guess that's it. In fact, you know, I was going to talk about combat next, but I might just talk about the leveling and progression now. It seems to come off the story pretty well. So the progression in the game is really, really good. And by progression, I mean like the sort of leveling system, because all games nowadays need to have those, of course. It's a lot different than maybe like other games. I think, like, I don't know, maybe the last RPG I played was probably Assassin's Creed Odyssey, or maybe God of War, the first one. And like, particularly in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, that story, or like, sorry, just the progression in that game, to like, in order to progress through the story, there was so much grinding involved. Like, that game is almost just too big. But Hogwarts Legacy really doesn't have that at all. I mean, like, you seem to level up at a good pace that sort of keeps up with the story, and that just happens naturally. Like, as long as you're just like exploring the castle, like Hogwarts, and the map and stuff like that, you're pretty much just going to keep up with the story, like, level wise. So like, you'll be keeping up with like how much damage you're able to do and how much like defense you have and stuff. So like, enemies are never really all too hard. Towards the end game, I mean, like, I sort of just like gunned the story a bit with a few little side quests here and there. And what's good as well, you don't need to do side quests to get things in the story. Although I think maybe sometimes you do, because to get some new spells, which I think you need for the story, like the main story, you need to do some side quests to get those. But other than that, yeah, you're pretty much just like sort of walked through like hand in hand or whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. Anyways, yeah, so the leveling as well, the gear that you find in like chests and stuff, that will scale up with your level and stuff. So like as you level up, you're going to find higher level gear, so you're not just going to find anything OP at the start of the game, which is good. But the only negative aspect of that is I find is that like I don't know, I find I'm constantly having to change gear and stuff, and like there is a bit of like an upgrade sort of your gear thing, and you can put these little perks on and stuff like that, and that's great and all, but like when you say you get gear at the start of the game and you go and like upgrade that, by the time you get some more gear, like the gear that you've just spent upgrading heaps, that's like irrelevant now. It doesn't matter. So that's a bit of like a frustration, I guess. That's one little negative thing. But like that doesn't really affect the cosmetic aspect of things, because there is a transmog system, as I'm sure some of you might have heard from other videos and stuff like that. So you can make any cosmetic item you have look like another thing, as long as you've once had that cosmetic item. So that's a really good feature. But yeah, that doesn't affect the like upgrades and like qualities of like different armors and stuff like that, or hats or whatever. So yeah, that's one little gripe that I have, always having to switch stuff out. And then like there's also a very limited sort of inventory space when it comes to your armors and clothes and stuff like that, which doesn't really help with the fact that you've always got to be, or that you're always just finding new things, and then like you're just constantly having to filter them out. Granted, you can sell them or just destroy them, but I don't know, I feel like there was one time where I'd upgraded this like wizard hat I got, and then I got a hat without any upgrades on it, and it was better than the hat that I had. So it was like I just had to throw that away to make space, because it was like useless. But yeah, that's alright, I suppose. So that's for leveling and stuff. Oh yeah, I guess I'll say how you level up. So you level up by just exploring, doing missions. I think, oh, there's the puzzles as well. I believe they give some XP. But one of the main sort of things is there's like these little notes you can find around the world. You go up to stuff and you like press like this like Revelio spell, and yeah, it gives you this little like note thing, which gives quite a bit of XP. So I think that's like the main sort of like the best way to level up. But like it's fun. It's definitely not a chore. You sort of just come across these things as you roam around. So again, like that's not a bad thing by any means. And I guess I'll talk about the combat now, because that's something I really want to highlight with this game. The combat is very fun. I played with a controller, and I think that the combat would make it's definitely going to vary for different people if you use a keyboard or controller, just because like the main sort of aspect of the combat, of course, is going to be casting spells. So if you just like tap like your attack, you're just like the standard attack button. So on controller it would be like the right trigger. I'm using it like a PlayStation 4 controller. So let me just see, that would be R2 there. So if you click R2, you'll just do a little like standard little like damage spell that doesn't really do much. And then you're supposed to combine that with like your special spells like Accio and Incendio and all these other little things. But to use those, you've meant like, at least for controller, you're supposed to hold down R2, so the attack button, as well as then, oh yeah, sorry, you hold R2 for the attack button, which then opens up like a little menu. And I don't know if you can see in the gameplay that's on now, or like if it's been before, because I'm just recording this separately to that. But you hold R2, and then you've got to click either, for me, triangle, circle, square, or X, and that will cast all your different spells. And like, look, that's simple enough when you've just got one sort of little spell set, but as you progress in the game, there's like a talent system as well, which gets little perks and sort of upgrades. That's like the main sort of like ability customization thing, or sorry, upgrade thing, or like skill tree. And yeah, in that you can unlock more spell sets, which you're definitely going to need, because there's about 16 different spells you can use, and you can only have like 12 assigned once you have all 4 spell sets unlocked. But to switch between spell sets, you're supposed to hold R2 and then you use the D-pad. And my only gripe with this is when you're focusing on a bunch of stuff and then you're trying to block things, which is like the triangle button, which is also used to cast spells when you're holding R2. I don't know, it can sort of like, at least for me, there was a few times where I sort of just like blue screened like in my head and just, I don't know, absolutely just got abolished. But look, that's not really too much of a problem. I guess like as you go, I mean, that's probably maybe just a me thing, maybe even. But as you go, I'd imagine you probably get better. But on keyboard, I know I tried it out for a little bit. The way you switch spells is with the mouse wheel, or the scroll wheel, and then you use 1, 2, 3, and 4, which I feel like is a lot easier and a lot less sort of like brain power goes into doing that. So I feel like combat might be better on keyboard and mouse, and I don't know, but like I did enjoy just exploring with the controller. I personally, I just found it a bit more comfortable, but I mean, to each their own, I suppose. What else? Combat. Okay, oh yeah, so there's also a like combat like challenge kind of thing that happens every time you start a new battle. So there's these little like challenges that appear in the corner of the screen, which make you, well, I guess like if you do them, I don't even know if you get rewarded for it. You might get like XP or something, I'm not too sure, to be honest, but they're there and they go green when you do them. So I don't know, for example, it might say like freeze someone while they're casting a spell or something. They're just like sort of little like checklist things you can do while doing the combat, just I don't know, to challenge you a bit more. And like those are fun. I really do like that. Instead of just like spamming things, it sort of makes you think outside the box a few times and like, I don't know, actively try and do them. And like it's just random for each encounter. There is a pretty good variety of them. There's like there aren't infinite, but there is a pretty good variety. Like you're unlikely to get the same two things or the same like little challenge like within 2 battles in a row. Yeah, anyways, so that's that. I touched on the spell sets. I think that's pretty much it. There's also like enemies will have shields, and they'll be either purple, yellow, or red, and you've just got to use the different associated color spell, like the color of the spell. If you see in like the bottom right there where the spells are in the video, you'll probably see the different colors there. So you've just got to like break the shield. Again, that also adds a bit more depth to the combat, makes you think a bit more, and sort of challenges you to sort of maybe preserve different things, different spells. But that doesn't really matter when you have more spell sets. Again, that's when you're sort of switching around to break the shields there, and that's the sort of bits where you get a bit like, I don't know, for me at least, it becomes a bit too much to keep track of while like dodging and blocking and keeping track of people and stuff. But yeah, that's all that. I guess I'll talk about the puzzles now. So the puzzles, I want to just say now, they're all very, very fun. I mean, they're puzzles, but like they're, I guess, challenging enough without being too repetitive, I suppose. Like they're very rewarding, unlike, I guess, like other games where it's sort of just, I don't know, move this box over here onto this platform. Like it's not really like that. There is a example of one of the puzzles, which is one of the Merlin puzzles. I don't know if you've seen it yet or it's coming up soon, but there's this scene where you like go to this like stone circle in the ground, you throw some leaves on it, and then there's like a little challenge, and that's like randomized. But I think the one in this video, it has me shooting at these like little like stone balls on these little pedestals. So that's like a simple sort of puzzle. I wouldn't even really call that a puzzle, but you've just got to find them. But there are other ones where you've got to like light up these podiums within an amount of time using some of the fire spells. But I think that's it for puzzles. I mean, there's a few different puzzles sort of seem team. Oh, sorry. Oh goodness. Jesus, I don't know what that was. There are sort of these like different puzzles in like in Hogwarts, that sort of has its own puzzles which don't appear in the open world, and vice versa. Like there's these door puzzles which I only just figured out this morning. They were very, very confusing, but yeah, you might need to look up how to do some of them. I will regrettably say that I had to, but that's beside the point. Let me see, I think that's all for puzzles. I've talked about the customization. Yeah, wait, have I? No, I think that was talking about the other stuff. Anyways, customization, yeah, so you can make armor and stuff look like something else, which is really appreciated and like good, because I don't know, it's like, for example, God of War, that's one game that I've definitely played where I sort of came across the issue of like, I don't know, do you want to have the cool looking armor or do you want to have like the good gear? So yeah, that is something that is very like a very good feature in Hogwarts Legacy, and I'm sure many people appreciate it because you can just, I don't know, allows for a bit more expression while like not missing out on like certain aspects of the game, like defensive and like, I don't know, attack capabilities and stuff. Sorry to jump around, but I might just go back to combat and quickly just say there are a few boss battles in the game. I've maybe experienced maybe like 3 or 4. I think there's 4, I think, in the main story that I've done, and like that was like the main quest. So there were only 4 boss battles, and those were pretty much just like, I don't know, I think 2 of them were pretty much just like normal encounters with just regular enemies, but there's just a lot of them, and then there's like 2 special ones. I think there's the final boss, and then there's like a earlier boss battle before that, but obviously I'm not going to spoil that for you. Yeah, those are pretty much just standard, just roll out the way when they do a thing you can't block, and then block what you can block and shoot them. It was pretty standard, nothing too special. And yeah, finally, exploration. The exploration in this game is great. Like Breath of the Wild, if you've played that at all, you're rewarded just for like going out and doing stuff. On your little map, it tells you where everything is. If you're like flying around on your little broomstick, that's another thing I want to touch on as well. I'll do that after. If you're flying around and stuff, you just use the little Revelio spell, and then you can see everything. Little like dungeons, caves, little treasure boxes and stuff. And there's also like a little ding sound that plays, like a little bell that plays when you enter an area and you use the Revelio spell. And if you've like missed out on something or whatever, that's really good. So again, you're not missing out. I feel like that's a very good feature that most games have. I know some people do like the idea of just going and sort of exploring things for themselves, but for people who just sort of, I don't know, just casual people who just want to play the game, it's a real good feature, and I think that should be used in a few more games, if anything. I think there are some things though which don't light up, and I think you do, or like they're out of the way. Like there is still a bit of challenge, like it'll tell you there's something behind a wall and you've got to try and figure out how to get there and stuff like that. So look, I guess it still has that challenge there to sort of balance that out, but yeah, I mean, for the most part, exploration's great. You've got a broom, and then there's like these 2 mounts you can get later. I think you'll see the hippogriff, the like griffin looking thing with the bird head, later at the end of the video, if it comes to that. If not, I'll just skip forward to it. But yeah, the flying's pretty fun as well. You just, on the broom, you've got like 2 speeds. You've got like, just like the casual floating around speed, and then you've got like you got 3 speeds actually. It's like a slow one, a normal one, and then like a boost, which you can upgrade throughout the game. There's like a series of side quests with like a broom maker who like upgrades it for you and stuff, and that just allows you to boost longer and like at higher elevations and stuff. Sorry, I've got like the hiccups or something. I don't know what is going on there. And then the hippogriff, that's just got 2 speeds, so you've just got the normal boost and like the normal sort of flight speed. And on controller, you just use the right stick to go up and down. So it's not like you're like a fighter pilot or anything like, or like a fighter jet. It's not nothing like that, but yeah, that's alright. You can't cast spells off the broom as well, which is a bit annoying, because you'll probably see at the start of the video there in the background footage that I found this like frog thing, and I was trying to kill it, but it was like inside the water, and you can't cast spells when you're swimming. So like, I don't know, I was trying to lead it to like some like the land there, and it wouldn't really come, so I sort of just had to snipe it from afar, but that's alright. I think that's pretty much everything for the game, honestly. I don't know if I should maybe do like a moist meter-esque sort of thing. I'll just maybe give it like probably... Oh wait, sorry, before I do the final little review of it. The glitches and stuff, yeah, so those haven't been too game-breaking by any means. Although I did have one time where I blue-screened and lost my save. I was able to get it back, thank heavens. I was not looking forward to replaying 15 hours of Hogwarts Legacy, I tell you now. But yeah, I resolved that pretty quickly, but that is just something to keep in mind. Back up your like saves from like the actual like files of the game. Don't just like do it like multiple saves in the game. Yeah, because that is something that like nearly ruined my playthrough. As well as that, there was this, or 2 sort of glitches, both involving water. And that would be, the first one was, I don't know, in like shallow water, it seemed the ground would just like go black for some reason when I walked over the water, like just like dark black. It was very weird. Maybe that's just like the magic, who would know? See, this is the thing, you can't tell in this sort of game. Another thing, which was sort of a funny glitch when it first happened, is in like sort of like the, I don't know, if there's like a body of water you can swim in like the open world for some reason, it sort of like goes all funky and like, I don't know, I guess the only word I could say is like terrestrially, like, I don't know, it looks like these giant crystals in the air sort of thing. And that's just the water freaking out, I guess. I don't know if that's like the physics engine or something. It's got something to do with something, that's for sure. But yeah, when I initially got that, I entered like a battle. It was like the first battle I think I did in the game at the very start. And I initially thought it was like a zone I couldn't leave and the enemies had like trapped me in there, but no, turns out it was just a glitch. But see, that's the beauty of it. I mean, if anything, who's to say there's not someone casting like freak out water spell? I don't know, you know, I mean, who's to say? But yeah, so that's pretty much all I have to say on Hogwarts Legacy. If I was to put it on a little scale of 10, I'd probably rate it maybe like 9.5 out of 10. Like, it's a really good game. It's just got the, or maybe even 9, because I don't know, the combat can get a little bit repetitive, but yeah, look, I think the final little thing will be 9.5 out of 10. Only because the glitches and the, oh sorry, no, we'll do 9 out of 10, yeah. Just because of the glitches and, I don't know, the combat is fun and all, but yeah, it can get a little bit repetitive and a bit, like, I don't know, challenging when there's a lot going on. I feel like maybe if they slowed it down a bit, then again, that could just be me not being an alpha Chad gamer. So yeah, I don't know. But anyways, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Dare I even say, hit that little notification bell. That's something I've never said before, so we'll see how that goes. Looking to get to 500 subscribers sometime this year, so if you could help out with that, that would be greatly appreciated. Have a great rest of your day. If you want to check out Hogwarts Legacy, I'll leave like the Steam link for it in the description of this video. And yeah, have a good one. Bye.